So this is breakfast. Got eggs, sausages, onion sprinkled with lemon, guacamole right in the middle with parsley sprinkled on top, and turnip patties that are kind of messed up. It's actually Saturday, Shabbat right now. Andrew and I are about to head to a Shabbat lunch, and they sent us directions to their house, and we basically had to write down the directions because we don't want to take out our phone in the old city in the Jewish quarter on Shabbat. So we wrote down the directions and it's basically the directions are make a right, and there's going to be a statue, and there's going to be a store, and it's going to look like this, and there will be a plant that looks like that, and you're supposed to find where their house is through a maze of a jungle of buildings and stuff in this ancient city in order to find their house. So it really feels like we're going on a scavenger hunt to find these people's house. So I have a whole page written down of directions, go here, do this, do that, right? When you reach the stairs, make a left and you'll see this. And so I have all these directions, and Andrew just made a simple map where he just drew some lines, and he created this mental picture in his head of when we get to the old city, how we're going to get from point A to point B. He's going to ignore all the little tiny little details, and he's going to think about it. I think he's thinking about it spatially, right? Is that the word? He's thinking about it spatially. So he has this internal GPS that's going to take us based on his internal, there, the house is there, right there. And we're going to go through all these little clutters in order to get to that place. I'm kind of excited, but I won't be able to vlog it because I just can't take out my phone because it's Shabbat and people don't use their phones. So.
Ready?
Yeah, see you on the other side. So I can't believe it's 6 p.m. Is that 6 p.m.? Really? Wow. We're back. Yeah, sorry, babe. You could lie down. So. You can just keep lying down while I do this vlog, because nobody on the vlog cares, because everyone in the vlog is probably also lying down while watching this. So we just came back. It was such a long meal. Oh, the first thing I want to say is Andrew managed to find the place without even using my directions. He just looked on a map before we even walked to the old city. So he just looked on a map of the old city, and he took a mental picture in his brain of where the entrance to the old city starts and where exactly their house is. And he didn't even take us through any of the directions that was in the directions that they gave us. We basically did a shortcut through the Arab Shuk, and he just knew. And we got to this tiny little alleyway, and he's okay, we're gonna turn here, and then we turned in there, and then he's okay, this is the house. And I was whoa, we got there much faster. So that was really cool. And then the lunch, it was a long meal. It was with a lot of people. There was a ton of people there. As much as we like networking and meeting people, we also get burned out really quickly. And I think for us, 2 hours, 3 hours tops, 2 hours, 3 hours tops for a meal or networking social thing, especially with the more people there are in a room, the shorter amount of time I think we can give to it, because it really goes, it eats our brain energy so fast. So we were really exhausted by the end of that meal, and the food was insanely good. It was a lot of food, and it was really delicious, but we were just so tired by the end of it. And there was a lot of people. It felt we kind of felt icky at the end because there's so many people to introduce yourself to, and we felt we didn't do it right, and we were just like tired and we just want to go home, but then we also like it just felt like we weren't able to be our best selves, our most like alert selves. And there's just a lot of like really uppity, anxious people there that were like, I thought I was anxious, but there were people that were like way more anxious that it was contagious. It's palpable. I'm wearing my baggy shirt again. I need to go shirt shopping, and this video is going to be however long it takes for Andrew to finish his current meeting and come home and grab me for our next meeting. So I'm going to like literally while I'm talking to you try to get ready as fast as possible. This is not get ready with me. This is just there's no time because we've been running around Jerusalem so much. It's been less than 2.5 weeks since we arrived in Jerusalem, and we've just been running around the entire time. And not to mention settling down, being pregnant is tiring already. Like you just sleep a lot more. And then on top of that, washing our stuff, like figuring things out. Every time we move to a new country, even though I've lived in Jerusalem before, it's a very different kind of live. I was in seminary or I was staying with family, and it was very like taken care of. So this is the first time that we're here, and I'm still actually being very supported and taken care of by my family. They're always bringing me food and bringing stuff to us, figuring things out for us. But still, when you're in a new country, there's always going to be that big first period of time when you get there that you're lost and you're kind of all over the place trying to figure out like which grocery store do I like going to, which prices do I like the best, where is the doctor that I'm going to, which pharmacy do I go to, do I like going to get my stuff, what plans do I want to use, what kind of transportation do I use to get different places, what time do the buses open and close. So all these different things. And the thing that we've been spending most of our time doing so far has been really networking, because that's, aside from getting close and acquainted with my family members, networking was a big thing that we wanted to do here. And it's not like we haven't been networking in other parts of the world, we have, but networking in the Jewish community in Israel is unlike anything that either of us have ever experienced before. It's just so easy. We've been trying to push the needle along on Andrew's businesses and things that he's been trying to work on for years now, literally years, and we've been traveling around the world and we've been meeting people that have been very helpful and great, but it's not comparable to, like even a fraction not comparable to trying to network here in Israel. And even in the States where both of us grew up, it was really hard to network in the States. Even though like I knew a ton of people in the States, I literally grew up in the States. Andrew knew a ton of people in the States. It was just hard. It was like pulling teeth to try to get to the right people and talk to people and get people to like actually pay attention to you. I don't know why. People just, I just felt like everybody was always ghosting me all the time. And granted, I was ghosting people all the time too. Something about everybody's just really busy in the States. I don't know what it is. But people here in Jerusalem are busy too. But it's a different kind of busy. I just feel like it's just been moving so fast. And there's still so much I want to do. My brain is so clogged. There's so much that I want to like do with these vlogs. I feel like now these vlogs are just coming out once a week. I want to bring it back to twice a week because I like doing this a lot. But it's just, I'm just slow for the past few weeks while I settle everything down. I should put on my lipstick while I do this. You like my lipstick? I look like a seminary girl because I'm wearing like this like high collared, and it's funny, I look like a seminary girl because I'm wearing my sister's clothing. My hair looks like a seminary girl hair just because I don't know why I'm wearing my hair like this today. I'm gonna wear earrings. And we've been eating kosher food because that's the food that they have available. And we've also been keeping Shabbat inadvertently because we've been hanging out with people that keep Shabbat. So we don't want to bring out our phones in front of people. I feel like I'm back to being Orthodox Jewish without really intending to. And we haven't been lying to anybody about our religious level, Andrew's religious background, anything like that. We haven't been lying to anybody. But at the same time, we've sort of just like put ourselves out there and said, yo, this is our story, this is our background, this is how we ended up here in Jerusalem, like, who wants to hang out with us? And people have been really welcoming and cooperative, and my family members have been angelic. Like, I feel really lucky because most of the people that I know, most of my friends who went off the derech, which is like getting away from religion, most of them have been abandoned by their families. Abandoned or disowned. Like, the parents are just like, you're not religious, so we don't want to have anything to do with you. Go and basically die in the desert or whatever is going to happen to you. Because it's really hard when you grow up in the ultra-Orthodox Jewish community or Haredi community or frum community, whatever you want to call it. Like, it's really hard when you grow up in a very religious community that is very isolated and closed, to try to then make it out in the world. It's just really, really, really hard. And most people, understandably, experience intense trauma. And, you know, the idea that you end up doing drugs or end up in jail or end up dead or end up like bad things happening to you is kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy, I think, because people in the community like people bring it on themselves. Like, it doesn't have to be that way, but it just happens because it is really hard when you have grown up in such a sheltered, isolated way of living your entire life, and all of a sudden you kind of have to make it out in the real world, which is hard enough as it is. Even people that grew up integrated in the secular world have a hard time. So it's just really hard to try to integrate in that and still succeed and not be full of trauma and mental problems. So I just feel very, very, very lucky. Like, I feel like I've just been like handed a bag of gold. Like, you know, I feel like God, the universe, whatever, has like just given me everything on a silver platter. And there's so many things that have happened in the past 2 weeks. So many things that have happened that were like little signs that things were gonna go our way. I think we're gonna become very successful here. And whatever we try to do, I think we're gonna be very successful here. Just because things are just moving so fast. Like, one example of a little sign was we got here and we're like, okay, we want to network and find people to work on Andrew's businesses with him, find people to potential investors, find people that want to partner, find people, like, there's different all kinds of different people that we're looking for. And I said, you know, this is kind of a shot in the dark, but 13 years ago when I was studying here in seminary, I had a meal with this family that I just remember their last name because I had such a great time with them, but I don't know anything else. Like, I don't remember who introduced me to them, how I ended up at their house. I don't have their number, and I just know their name. It was like a friend of a friend of a friend, and I just ended up at their house. And they were really cool, and I just felt like this family is exactly who I would want to introduce Andrew to. Because I just don't know a lot of people in Jerusalem. I know people that know people, but I just don't know people a lot. And because it's just been so long and I haven't kept in touch with anybody here. And so I just happened to mention this family that was really cool, that I thought Andrew should like collaborate or get to know or whatever with. And then I was talking to my brother, and he said, yeah, I have this friend who will like introduce you to like random people to network over Shabbat. Would you like to do that? And Shabbat is like the weekend, Sabbath. So there's this guy who just knows a lot of people in Jerusalem, and whether you're Jewish or not Jewish, in our case, we wanted a family that was like gonna be open to us. Whether you're Jewish or not Jewish, or religious or not religious, they'll set you up with a family to go to their house for Shabbat, and then you get to meet like all kinds of people. It's just like a random mix and match type of thing. It's not like an organized, like an organization where you eat with like a whole ton of people. It's just you eat with like, you get placed with different families that will cook a meal for you. So we randomly got placed with that exact family. And at first I was like, okay, it's the same exact last name. Maybe they're related, but it might not be the same people. We go to their house and it's the same exact people. And I was like, whoa. So that's just one example of something that went our way without us even trying. It feels like everything since we've been traveling has just felt so hard all the time, and we've been sick so much, and physically and mentally, like everything has been felt so draining for so long. And it really got to a point where I really felt like life doesn't matter anymore. Like, what's the point? Why do people try so hard anymore? Like, I really was getting to a point where it just felt like there was no point. And I know that for other people, that point might take a lot longer to come, because I just have such a short fuse, such a short ability to tolerate things. And especially being pregnant, like my ability to tolerate hardship has really gone down. I feel, I was getting to the point, especially in Bali, it was just getting to the point where I was like, okay, life can be everything you want it to be. I feel like I've experienced everything I want to see. I've seen everything I want to see. I've done everything I want to do. But everything just still feels like it's not moving anywhere. It just feels stagnant. And we were having intense jungle fever, getting bitten by mosquitoes all day. And I was just getting to the point where I was really kind of feeling depressed, even though there wasn't anything wrong. And we're just like living in this jungle hut, and it just feels like, okay, is this our life now? We have traveled the world, we've done what we needed to do, we've gotten ourselves to a basic level of stability, but so is this where we die? There's nothing else, and everybody here is on vacation. It just felt stagnant. And then talking to my family members, and I was telling them, we're thinking about going to Colombia. And they said, hey, why don't you stop in Israel on the way? Come visit us in Jerusalem on the way. And we're like, you know what? Maybe that's not a bad idea before we have a baby. And then we're like, okay, well, maybe since we're working on our Colombia visas, and the Colombia visas were taking forever, maybe we'll just stay a little bit longer in Jerusalem until the Colombia visas work out. I had no intention of staying in Jerusalem longer than a few weeks. I was just like, I can't handle Jerusalem, because my memory of Jerusalem is that it was just very stressful. And it is very fast moving, just things move fast here. At least in our case. It's been very different than I expected. It's been very positive. It's felt very accepting. I feel like we've just landed in the right places, talking to the right people. Feels really good, and there's like still so much that I want to do, that and it's bringing back my spark too, of like things I want to do, places I want to go, like momentum. it's bringing back a lot of my energy of like, oh, I want to do things. I want to sing. I want to dance. You know, I want to design comfy wear and sell it on this channel. And I'm still trying to figure out how to do it with all the setting up my website with the YouTube. And I'm just moving so slow because I feel like I just feel so overwhelmed by it. And I know a lot of you guys are also doing like internet businesses and stuff, and it's just overwhelming to try to link everything together and set it up. I feel like, I don't know why, but everybody that we meet is so anxious all the time. And I thought I was really anxious, but yeah, everybody else we meet is also even more anxious. And I'm just like, oh my God, I'm feeling it. So Jewish anxiety is a thing. Jewish privilege is a thing. I think the anxiety, a lot of it is overstimulation. There isn't like a lot, if things are moving really fast because you're in a community of people that like is so cohesive and like everybody kind of knows each other and is like kind of dealing and interacting with each other 24/7. And even on Shabbat, where it's kind of supposed to be a day of rest and you're supposed to relax, it's not relaxing because you're just around other people 24/7 and your sensors are going off and trying to like make things happen 24/7, even if it's just socializing with people or like going to shul or preparing dinner, lunch if you're having guests or being a guest. We were guests at this place on Saturday, which was different from the other people the other family that I was talking about. And the second people that we were guests at their home was so anxious. It just, the vibe, the environment felt so, I don't know if I should say anxious or like tense. We felt so like worried about like, are we going to say the right thing or the wrong thing? Are we going to do the right thing or the wrong thing? A lot of the people that were there just felt on edge. And actually, it felt like no matter how much we tried to like not say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing, we ended up still doing or saying the wrong thing and inadvertently pissing people off, which we weren't trying to do. Or maybe they weren't pissed off and it looked like they were because they were just like anxious people. I don't know. But being around new people all the time is very anxiety inducing. Like if you kind of know people already, you kind of know what to expect, you can just sort of relax and be yourself. When you're meeting new people all the time, which in a community like this, you're gonna end up meeting new people all the time because you're gonna hang out with your friends who have friends who have friends who have friends, and you're just gonna keep being exposed to new people. It's very anxiety inducing if you are easily overstimulated, which me and Andrew are because both of our nervous systems are still recovering from all the getting sick. And so those are like our sensory systems. They're still recovering. And also, and at the same time that it's really good for business, it's very exhausting. So, but it is good for business, and you like this, if any of these people that we've been meeting here in Jerusalem, if we had met any of them, even the worst ones, even the ones that are kind of like not really helpful or not really nice or not really useful or whatever, if we had met any of these people anywhere else around the world, they would have still been an amazing connection. And meeting people for anything, for business, for any kind of business or any kind of building or networking or whatever it is, here in Jerusalem, it has been like so much more fruitful than anyone we've met anywhere else in the world. The Jewish community is the best for business and that I've seen, and I just feel like I really actually don't want it to be true because I spent so much of my life trying to get away from the Jewish community at large, especially, the Frum community. because I grew up in it. I was really burned out on it. I've been trying to get away from it. I wasn't able to be attracted to anybody who was Jewish in a romantic way, to any Jewish mates. Like, I just wasn't, even when I stopped being religious and people were like, oh, why don't you try dating a secular Jew? I wasn't able to be attracted to anybody that was even secular Jewish, because I've been like, my brain wants to be away from it so badly. But when it comes down to the experiences I've had so far, it's just so much easier. Like, there is nobody that's making more money that we've met than people in the Jewish community. And there's nobody that is moving faster. There's nobody that is networking faster. There's nobody that has the better networks. We just haven't found it, and we want to. I want to. I want there to be, I want to find my own power outside of my parents' community. Every kid wants that. Every kid wants to find their own space and their own power and their own green pastures outside of where they grew up. That's kind of how you find your own identity, how you set yourself apart, how you prove yourself. You prove I'm more than just what I was born into. But ultimately, yeah, I'm just processing all of this, and I don't know how to feel about it, but the feeling of abundance is coming back to me too. Very, very strongly so. So like on Friday nights and Saturdays, Orthodox Jews have like Kiddush, which is basically where you start the meal that you're having, dinner, lunch, whatever, and you, the head of the household makes a blessing on a glass of wine. They pour wine and they give it to everybody. And a lot of families, what they'll do is they'll pour wine in a wine glass and they'll kind of overflow it, and they'll do that for everybody, or they'll just do it for the head of the household and then he'll pour it for everybody. And the idea of overflowing the glass of wine, and sometimes they'll add some water to make it overflow. The idea of overflowing the glass of wine is that you're kind of signaling abundance. We don't exist in scarcity. We don't move. We don't try to save our wine. We wanna pour wine as if we have enough wine for years. So that's kind of like the idea of it. And that symbolism, it kind of translates to a lot of how things are moving. It's like we've been living very frugally in other parts of the world. Like, we've been living, and I think it's really important to be frugal. It really makes me anxious when people spend more than their means. So we've been living like a very frugal lifestyle, not modest. We've been living it up. We've been having a great lifestyle, but we've been living still below our means and trying to all right, I was really interrupted by a phone call. So as I was saying, I think I was talking about like the whole abundance thing. So it really just feels very abundant mindset. Like, it feels like we're moving forward without thinking about the cost of things, because it just feels like things will be taken care of. And I think that the ability to think that things will be taken care of and feel like everything will be all right, I think that's really a luxury. You know, people gaslight people into thinking like, you should just feel abundant, you should just feel like everything's going to be okay. But like, the truth is that in your life, in your personal life, around the people that you are and the environment that you're in, things are not okay, and they are probably not going to be okay. And you're kind of gaslit into feeling like there's something wrong with you if your body or mind in any way acknowledges the reality that it's in, which is things are not okay and they're not going to be okay and you're in scarcity. But it's much easier to feel in abundance, like, you know, feel like everything's going to be okay when you're constantly being brought gifts, being brought food. Like, we're being taken care of here. Like, You're constantly being introduced to people. It doesn't feel like pulling teeth to get in touch with people. It feels easy. Everybody is accessible. The best people are easy and accessible. We feel like we're being pushed to the front of the line wherever we are. We feel like we're having things rolled out for us on a silver platter with love, with not even like, oh, I don't have enough money to take you out to dinner, or like, we don't feel like that at all. We feel like there's just abundance flowing from every person we meet. People are just flowing with abundance, and it's just much easier to feel like everything's going to be okay when you're kind of around that energy, because things are just working out for you all the time. And so, like, I don't feel like it's something that we're even controlling. I don't feel like, you should just be, you should, if you want to be successful, you should just be like successful people. Because this has been my mindset for a while. Has been gaslighting myself into saying, well, if you want to be successful, just have the mind. And it is true to a certain extent, is that if you have the successful mindset. But I think it's also important to cut yourself some slack and realize that there is a world in which you can be in your abundance mindset and have things like handed to you on a silver platter, and things just work out. And you can whine a little bit and be open to your reality. Like, if it's not working out, I think you shouldn't, I feel like for so long I've just told myself, like, oh, this is just how it is. This is just how it's supposed to be. Everybody deals with like this hardship, and it has to be this hard. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be easier ever, and it can't be easier. It just has to be this hard for everybody. But it doesn't actually have to be this hard for everybody. It doesn't have to be this hard for everybody. And there are places in the world where the thing that you're trying to accomplish is so easy, and you're just like, wow, why did I never come here? Because I never thought of this. Never thought to do this. And maybe it was just the timing that was right. But I cannot judge anybody that is living in scarcity right now, especially right now, that is living in scarcity. The difference between existing and trying to make things happen in the Jewish community versus outside is not comparable. It's just not comparable. You need anything, any kind of help, charity, like anything you need. In the Jewish community, oh, I'm looking for someone who has this kind of skill, who can do this thing. Oh, immediately you're just connected to like 10 different people that do that thing, and they trust each other too, and they trust you, and they're eager to help, and they're like, okay, cool, let's start. Outside of the Jewish community, it's not like this. You're pulling teeth 24/7. You're just pulling teeth. Everybody is just tired, isolated. It's just so not comparable. It's just an observation that I have. This isn't me saying that I'm gonna be religious, because I don't like being religious. I like to breathe. I want to breathe, and the fact that I'm wearing a religious looking shirt right now is just because I don't have shirts. I would much rather be showing some cleavage right now, some boobies, because I have big boobies right now because I'm pregnant. So I would much rather be showing them off, be wearing a tight shirt. But yeah, I'm just sharing my observations, how it's been since we've gotten here, and how it's just, anyways. See you guys. Bye.
Let's go.
Nice. Woohoo! This is my view. I'm sitting here at a park in Jerusalem while Andrew's going on a run with his running partner, and it's just so nice and peaceful It's just so nice. I don't feel like I need to do anything, talk to anybody. There's like no Wi-Fi. It's really just really pleasant and chill. And we just did yoga and had matcha turmeric lattes with honey. I'm just sitting here and chilling. Yeah, it's pretty nice. These kids having fun. Yeah. I feel like we've been moving so fast lately, and it's good, but it's also very overwhelming, overstimulating. Like there's so much I want to do with these videos. Like there's like so much that I want to do and to create, and I just feel like I'm not even able to think. I'm not able to formulate my thoughts coherently. I'm not able to feel so clear because there's just so much that's happening in the background. And also I found that myself and Andrew were just so tired all the time, so we've been sleeping like straight up 10 hours and sleeping through our alarm clocks, which is like, we don't normally do that, but ever since we got here, we've been sleeping through our alarm clocks because we're just so tired all the time. And I think a lot of it is a good sign. It's because we're so active here, because there's a lot of hills and a lot of walking. Anyone who's spent time in Jerusalem knows that that's basically what your life is. It's not very convenient to have a car, so people are usually just walking everywhere. Like a lot of cities in the world are like this. And so you end up like becoming really strong. But it wasn't like that in Bali. We were mostly taking a motorbike everywhere. Bali's not really walkable. So we're kind of getting our walking muscles back, and there's definitely a muscle learning curve to that. So I'm just waiting to get over that hump of like always being tired all the time. But I had a voice lesson earlier today, which was really cool. And I really hope to get back into music and art, and like, you know, it's hard to build when you're moving around all the time. It's hard to like create brand deals that have to do with the place that you're in because you're always moving. You don't know if you'll have the same suppliers in that place. So lately I've been thinking that I'm just gonna put on hold the idea of like working with local manufacturers for now, and I'm going to really just try to stick to very versatile online merchandise that I can like get the designs anywhere and not stuck to one place, and I can just work on it anywhere. For now I'll just stick to that, and then in the future, if I'm like in one place longer in a more like set amount of time, I can do that, work with local manufacturers. I just want to show off tonight's dinner. It's chicken. It's like kind of slow cooked chicken with it's like very orange, with carrots, onions, garlic, persimmon to make it sweet, and date syrup, like 100% date syrup, and cinnamon, paprika, and then like the other spices like garlic powder, thyme, salt, pepper, whatever. I'm trying to remember what else is in it. Cinnamon.
Can I eat it now?
Yeah, you can eat it. You have permission to take a bite. We'll see Andrew's impression.
It's good.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, very tasty.
What does it taste like?
Persimmon and carrots and onions.
Here's me being a pregnant lazy bum and like not doing anything, and here's Andrew working really hard. Babe, how does it feel to have your like random moments in the privacy of your own home being constantly filmed like paparazzi, but worse because it's like in your own home?
I'm very used to it. If you're going to be married to Pardes Seleh, you better be used to being on camera.
I'm so sorry to say this, but I don't know if I'll ever grow out of this. Like, I think you're stuck being on camera forever. For all the lovers and haters to see. and put hexes on you. Who put a hex on Andrew to have a sinus infection? Yeah, this is probably gonna be me for the next few months. And my videos haven't been coming out as consistently as I would like to, but I just can't. Like, I'm just too tired to say things sometimes. Like, I'm too tired to even think of things to say. So, because, like, the bigger my belly gets, the smaller my brain gets.
She is just super duper pregnant.
Yeah, I would show you my belly. Like, literally all I actually feel like doing is looking at my belly moving. But I don't know if you guys want to see that. Like, I'll try to get a good shot. Like, she's moving right now. Like, I don't know if you see this, by the way.
Yeah, I see it.
Alright, I give up, and I know that she's probably going to move, like, now. She's probably going to move now that the camera's off, because it's always like this. Every time I interrupt Andrew from whatever he's doing to say, Andrew, put your hand on my belly, she's moving. And then he puts his hand, and then she stops moving. So, another thing I want to say is that I've been having raspberry tea with dates every single day. And originally I started doing that because everyone said you should do that if you're pregnant, because it's good for like it's good for your abdominal muscles. It like loosens everything up, and easy labor and all these things. But another thing I noticed that it's really good for, and Andrew's been having it with me, is it's good for digestion. So it actually also loosens you up for going like pooping. And a thing that I noticed ever since I started having raspberry tea with dates every single day is that I'm able, like in Bali, I was having, before I started doing this, I was like a little constipated, which is very common when you're pregnant, because like your organs are a little more squished, so you're not able to like, your poop isn't able to like flow down your colon as easily. Sorry to be graphic, but with the raspberry tea and dates, it's like so smooth. Like, I've just had no problem going to the bathroom ever since I've been having this. So just like a tip for people who are constipated or like experiencing indigestion, raspberry tea with dates has been a lifesaver for sure. And we've been doing like other health stuff too, but I'll maybe get it later. Check this out. It's black toothpaste. Maybe in the morning I'll show you what that looks like. Charcoal like the olden days, and I'm wearing a white shirt. I better not get it on myself. I'm actually really nervous because it stains everything, and that's part of why, like yesterday, we went and just got regular white toothpaste, just a white toothpaste, because like, I don't know how people brush their teeth with this without getting everywhere black, and it's really annoying. So, okay, I'm gonna cover my white shirt. Charcoal toothpaste. Cheese. So it's getting really cold in Jerusalem, and they're saying that it might snow this weekend. It's gonna snow, which will be really exciting because I'm like usually hot when we go out because I'm pregnant and I have like a really big huge coat, so I'm actually excited, which is weird for me because usually I don't like it when it's cold. Also, I had a dream about Hasidic people. I had a dream that we were in a movie theater, and there was on one side of the theater like was the actual movie playing, and there were like maybe 10 seats in front of the movie, and then on the other side of the theater, so like it like went like where the movie was like a little tiny corner with like 10 seats. And then the rest of the theater, there was no movie, and it was just like tons of chairs set up, and you're like supposed to sit there, and somehow you're in the movie theater and you're experiencing the movie, but you're not actually really hearing or seeing the movie. And so like we were like sitting there and we're like, oh, we want to get closer to the movie and actually watch the movie. But we can't because there's like no seats there. There's like 10 seats and they're all taken. Or like people had like they put their stuff on their seats to claim the seats, you know? So we're like asking people like, why is the movie theater like this set up so that the majority of the seats are placed so that you can't actually see or hear the movie? And they were saying because it's a from theater. So a from theater allows you to go to the movies without actually watching or hearing the movie. So this is my dream. And I was like, that's so weird. Like, why would you want to sit and not hear or see the movie? Why would you want to just like sit in a seat in a huge amphitheater without anything in front of you? And they're like, because we still want to go to the movies, but we're religious, so we want to, this is like our way around it. And I just, in my dream, I feel like this is a commentary on a lot of things religious people do, that like my brain was trying to figure, like it was, my brain was trying to resolve it. Just like, why would you go to the movies if you can't sit in front of the movie? Peaceful is this YouTube music. It's like a YouTube AI screen with like music playing in the background. This is what we do every single morning. We play that, and then we have our turmeric, cinnamon, date syrup coffee. Like it's like a turmeric cinnamon mix in our coffee, and it's so peaceful. Do that in the morning, and then we do yoga. This has been every morning, and it's cold outside, so it's like really nice and cozy inside. And I really didn't think we could replicate like a Zen environment here in Jerusalem, because Jerusalem to me doesn't represent Zen compared to Bali. But it has really been working. And in fact, I feel more relaxed, weirdly, because I think a big part of it is also because I don't have to like worry about mosquitoes and stuff. Like we can just sit out here in the living room and not worry that bugs are gonna get to us if we do. Today's breakfast, we have kebab with hummus and roasted garlic, tomato, eggs, parsley, onion in lemon juice, and like a little bit of honey and salt spread on top. Gluten-free naan, which actually tastes very much like bread. Like it's very bready and very soft, like actually more than regular bread. It's actually, I think, what did you think about the bread, babe?
That was great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Not because you're on camera, right?
No, I can't wait to try the next batch.
Crispy.
Nice.
It's good.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. And also I forgot to mention that this like little sprinkle, the purple sprinkle, that's sumac. We've been having sumac in our breakfast, and I don't know what the benefits of sumac are, but it's a Mediterranean spice, or a Middle Eastern spice actually. Matcha latte with turmeric. So turmeric, matcha, actually more turmeric, and a drop of milk, and it's hot. And I forgot to mention sweetened with honey. And just trying on sweaters because it's the coldest weekend in Jerusalem. It's really cold here. Here's a new sweater. Oh yeah.
It's very warm. So
It looks good on you.
Pardes has a story about how we got it half off.
We did get it half off. Oh gosh, I look crazy. The lady that worked.
Crazy beautiful.
So the lady that worked there was like gorgeous. She was like drop dead gorgeous. And I was like, kept looking at her and I was like, whoa, like she's like unhumanly gorgeous. Like this doesn't look possible. Look, she looks like she was constructed as like a gorgeous robot to look the way she looks. And Andrew said, why don't you tell her? So I was like, okay. I went and told her. No, we were in the front checking out our stuff, and like before we did anything, I was like, you're really gorgeous, by the way. And you probably get that a lot. She said, yeah. She said, thanks. And then, but I could tell that she was flattered. And so Andrew's sweater was only half off, if you're a member, and you can only be a member if you're Israeli. You have Israeli citizenship ID, and you have to pay for the membership, which was like an extra 70 shekels in order to get that half off. And long story short, she just gave it to us half off without us having to get the membership. Probably because we complimented her. Okay. Anything else you want to say to the
No.
camera? Okay. Bye.